Mothers who never watched TV during the day were glued to watching the Army-McCarthy hearings.
The television moment of the Army-McCarthy hearings that is lived in memory ever since is the famous moment on June 9th, 1954, when McCarthy decides to violate an agreement that Cohn and Welch had come to before the hearings.
Roy Cohn, although of perfect draft age, had managed to avoid the Korean War and the draft afterwards. It was kind of astonishing. Joe Welch said, fine, I will never bring up your draft status, but we have a problem of our own. We have a young attorney named Fred Fisher, who was a member of a Communist Front group while he was at Harvard Law School, and we brought him down to work on the committee. We decided that because of his past, we would send him home, and I would appreciate it if you would never bring up Fred Fisher.
Throughout most of that afternoon, Roy Cohn and Joseph Welch had been having, your basic nasty lawyerly argument, and Cohn's okay with it.
Mr. Welch, sir, with great respect, I work for the committee here. They know how we go about handling situations of communist infiltration and failure to act on FBI information about communist infiltration.
And may I add my small voice, sir, and say whenever you know about a subversive or a communist or a spy, please hurry. Will you remember those words?
But
Welch,
McCarthy
sir,
gets so angry at Welch's badgering of Roy Cohn that he blurts out the name of Fred Fisher.
In view of Mr. Welch's request, I think we should tell him that he has in his law firm a young man named Fisher, who has been for a number of years a member of an organization which was named, years and years ago, as the legal bulwark of the Communist Party. And I have hesitated bringing that up, but I have been rather bored with your phony request to Mr. Cohn here.
Little did I dream you could be so reckless and so cruel as to do an injury to that lad. It is true he is still with Hale and Dorr. It is true that he will continue to be with Hale and Dorr. It is, I regret to say, equally true that I fear he shall always bear a scar needlessly inflicted by you.
You'll look at Roy Cohn's face and you will see him go, oh my God, no, please no. But McCarthy won't stop. He keeps attacking.
I want to say, Mr. Welch, that it has been labeled long before he became a member, as early as 1944.
Senator, may we not drop this? I did you, I think, no personal injury, Mr. Cohn.
No, sir.
And if I did, I beg your pardon. Let us not assassinate this lad further, Senator. You've done enough. Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you left no sense of decency?
You could see Joe McCarthy going, what did I do? What did I do? Joe Welch literally has a tear in his eye. This was seen as spontaneous. In fact, Welch had been thinking of this for months. Jim St. Clair, who was second in command to Joe Welch, said, we walked out the side door, the door closed behind us. He winked at me and said, how did I do? And they said, great, you did great.
The fact that McCarthy really didn't seem to have any sense of decency, and the fact that he'd been caught publicly in lies over the course of these 6 weeks, the public's capacity to trust him, the belief that he was engaged in this anti-communist crusade as some sort of earnest attempt to protect American society, as opposed to a demagogic bullying spree, at the end of it, I think all the illusions, the comfortable illusions that McCarthy had cultivated about himself had effectively been dispelled.
It was as if the entire country had been waiting for somebody to finally say this line, "Have you no sense of decency?" to Senator McCarthy. That's the moment where McCarthy incinerates himself on national TV. It's the moment in which the dragon that is Joseph McCarthy is finally slain.